So if we're ready to get this party started, I'm going to turn your attention to the video screen. We're going to play the first video. Tracer Fenn put Las Vegas BMX on the map. He did. And tonight, we're going to honor Tracer Fenn with an induction into the National BMX Hall of Fame. Let's share a short video about Tracer's career.
All right. That one defining moment. Las Vegas BMXer Tracer Fenn was well known for his jumping skills, but you could say that it was the Fenn family showmanship that brought BMX action publisher Bob Osborne to Sin City. Their goal? To shoot one of the most incredible hot shots in BMXA history. After a failed attempt to jump the fountains at Caesar's Palace, Tracer knew they had to come up with something spectacular. Thus, in the wee hours of the morning, in a complete rebel run, they wheeled out his father's vaudeville piano in front of the Union Plaza Hotel and quickly transformed the entrance of the casino into a one-of-a-kind obstacle. Using a sawhorse and two 4x8 sheets of plywood, they rigged together one of the sketchiest ramps ever jumped. Tracer wasn't sure how much speed he'd have to carry in order to clear everybody, and went big. As his father ducked, his stepmom pointed to the sky, and his brother's girlfriend sang with a banjo. Tracer skyrocketed over the Wurlitzer and into BMX infamy. That image would be immortalized over many a BMXer's bedroom wall. And what followed has been a lifetime of involvement as a racer, bike shop owner, race promoter, and factory team manager. Join us in welcoming your 2014 Pioneer inductee into the BMX Hall of Fame, the pride of Las Vegas, Tracer Fenn.
Wow, this is pretty cool. This is a huge honor. Thank you all. You know, it's been an interesting year. In the mail, I got my USA BMX Lifetime Racing card and my AARP card. So, goes downhill from here, doesn't it? I want to thank my family, my parents, and especially my dad. He was my first sponsor, like so many people are, but also he held my hand. And I want to say this literally, and I hope we weren't having chicken fingers tonight, because he held my hand when I got my finger cut off in the emergency room. He's holding my hand, the doctors are working on me, and we're cracking jokes about saving 10% off my next manicure. So, thank you, Pop. My brother Mike, who we just rode for years together, and it was awesome, and you know, most of us have all had some neat people in our lives, and my kids, Trace and Anna Lee, they grew up around all my BMX family, and they're the kind of people they are today because of the kind of people I've surrounded myself with. I love you both. Sorry about saying the year, honey, but in 1986, I met my beautiful wife, Shelly. She was 3. So I went to a party across the street from our house, and I asked my friend to introduce me to this beautiful blonde. And she walked up, my friend introduced me, and she said, I swear to you, she said, "You're that bike guy." Oh, you talk about getting an assist? I'll take it, man. Shelly, I just love you. What's great is that so many people we get to travel, and all my friends from BMX are just always welcome in our home. And she always supports BMX, and everyone knows how important that is. Love you, honey. When this was first announced, I wanted my first call to be special, and it was to Mr. Bob Williams over here. Him and his family started BMX in Vegas, and you know they had to love it when it was 110 degrees outside. And during the races, we had jumping contests and wheelie contest and bunny hop contest, all kinds of things that kept you interested on your bike. And I really appreciate that. That's awesome. And when the kids wanted a starting gate, we wanted a starting hill as well. They took their old Cadillac that broke down, drug it to the starting line, They let us bash the windows out, flatten the tires, we covered it with dirt, and that was our first starting hill. It's still out there now. I went up there by Shadow Creek, and whoever unearths this thing is going to think they found Jimmy Hoffa. It gave, after Williams Raceway, a lot of other things sprung up. Mike Haywood, who's here this evening, started Desert Surf. A lot of you older guys might have raced that. It was a combination skate park, BMX track. It was awesome. And it put us on the map for getting to go to nationals. All the local kids and us got to see all the factory riders, everybody come through, and it gave us all new goals and opportunities and meeting new families. And one of my favorites, and I'm sure some of yours, is the Christopher family. Chuck was the gate starter, and Tom and Doug, they were great to me, and they let me stay at their home and travel so much. If you haven't noticed, I love downhill tracks. I wish we could be in this era, but we loved them. And I was racing Corona, and as we all have a Mike Miranda story, we were in a moto, and I think we were laying back on each other so we could throw style off the water jump. And it was really cool. And that was the day he introduced me to Roger at CW, and it led to a factory ride. All of a sudden, I'm on a team with Hall of Famers now and great friends, and got to travel the country. It was just a treat for a kid from Vegas to be traveling around with these factory team riders and get to go all over the country. So, and some really good stories, but it's at least PG rated here this evening. By the end of high school, I'd raced in nearly 30 states, and when you put this together, you take a look at things, and I look back with so much joy about all these wonderful places I got to go, even before I got out of high school. The only drag is something that Cash said, is that we all miss proms, birthdays, family functions, just to chase our passions. Here's a little audience participation. How many people here have missed Thanksgiving at home to be at the Grands? Raise your hand. All right. So all you parents out there, this is where we were, I swear. And then I don't know if you've gotten an earful like I have over the years. I had a girlfriend in high school say, if you go on tour, don't ever call me again. It was a great tour. It was awesome. It was good. And then even as of late, about 4 years ago, I got my knee replaced. Jumping to flat is not good for your knees, by the way. And my mother-in-law said, this is hilarious. She said, when do they stop racing those little bikes? And I just said never. I just raced them a little slower than I did. So yeah, the neat part about this is this fraternity that we have, and BMX is about lifelong friendships. My first hero, who I was glad to say is here tonight, was our first number one, Mr. Sam Meek, right here. Here's the neat part about him. He was fast, he had tons of flair, he rode like a pro, but most of all, he was very kind to me. And all it made me want to do is be like you. So take that to the bank, and I love you, and I'm glad you're here. We actually practiced. We practiced jumping and sprints, but we were jumping into fountains on the strip and sprinting when security showed up. So I don't know if that counts, but in modern day training, but that was all right. I've been racing this gentleman here since I was 12 or 13 years old. First time I ever raced Yeti was Weinert Mountain. He wouldn't know that because I was behind him. We raced novice, amateur, and expert classes, and I'm in that race and expert class. I look up, this guy's ahead of me with this chrome beautiful bike, and it says King on his back, and I went, wow, they have a new class for this guy. But I tell you, this is a great gentleman, and I love you, man. You're awesome. Good man. You never know where things are going to come from, and for the ABA gang, somebody sent me a letter announcing a new Vet Pro class, 20 years ago? So it sent me this beautiful letter. I called Tommy Brackens, and in an hour, he calls me back, gets me set up, sent me a bike, and I went straight out to the track. And that's the night I met TJ Lavin. I was riding with these kids that were amazing, and this kid was just awesome. And by the end of the night, too, I was riding for Herdas. All of a sudden, I had a new best friend I loved how this guy rode, and I rode for a team. So I'm really proud of you. I watched his career grow, and then he watched me burning all my vacations from work trying to go. It was the X Games era, and you know what, guys? This era was cool. These guys are just way better than R-rated. It was a fun time. So he put a deal together and got me as his team manager, and I got to travel the world for 4 years and really see another aspect of BMX and where it's grown, and I have much respect, and I appreciate the opportunity, buddy. Thanks. Last week I went out to the state championships and watched Connor Fields be kind to these little kids that are all trying to run up and get his time, just like Sam was with me. And I respect that. I really appreciate it. Racing is in good hands. Thank you all. Thanks, Jennifer Gillette. She just took care of our whole family, the Hall of Fame committee, and the tech crew, who I do lighting, and I appreciate you guys' work. You'll be here till 4 a.m. stripping this stuff out. So you guys are awesome. And thank you for my friends from Vegas and everybody that came down to support me, everybody that drove down. Hats off to you. Thank you so much. And there's one thing I've always wanted to say if I ever got to own a microphone. And I double-checked on your ticket stubs, and it is open bar. But I've always wanted to say, the drinks are on me. Cheers.